Hey everyone, it's me, Erica. Today we are going to go over the crocheted waffle stitch. So I've been using this a lot lately for throws. It uses the front post double crochet, which again I've also been using a lot. For the purpose of this tutorial, I'm going to assume that you already know how to work a double crochet. And maybe you're familiar with the front post double crochet also, but I'll kind of go over that a little bit. So the waffle stitch is a multiple of 3 plus 2 to balance out the chain. So I'm going to start with kind of a short chain here because I don't want the rows to be too long for the tutorial here. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's do one more. 1, 2, 3, and then our extra 2. 1, 2. I'm also going to add, this is bulky weight yarn and a size K hook, just in case you're wondering. All right, so here's our chain. Now, our first row, our setup row, is just going to be double crochet. So I am going to work a double crochet in the third chain from my hook right here. So 1, 2, 3, and in every chain until the end. So I'm just going to go right across, all the way. Okay. Now, most recently, I have used this stitch in the waffle stitch throw pattern that I did for Craft Sense. It is a kit on craftsense.com. Maybe that's why you're here. If you are, welcome. Thank you. I hope you are enjoying the yarn, and if you have any questions with the pattern, let me know. But okay, here we go. All right, last stitch, and I just split my yarn because I was trying to go too fast. All right, end of the first foundation row. So that's it. It's just a row of double crochet, nothing fancy. So now we're going to turn, and we're going to start row 1 with a chain 2. So chain 2. Now I am not counting that as a stitch here or anywhere else in the pattern because I'm going to work under the assumption that you will be putting on a border or sewing this together, and this edge will be eaten up into a seam or covered up with another stitch, and you're going to need that to grip onto instead of eating into your pattern repeat. So this kind of gives you a little bit extra room to play with without coming into your actual work. So this is where you're going to begin now. You're going to do a double crochet into this first stitch. All right, that's how you begin the row. Now your stitch repeat is going to be 1 double crochet, 2 front post double crochet. So it's a 3 stitch repeat all the way across your row. So 1 double crochet, and then 2 front post double crochet. So to do a front post double crochet, you're going to go around, not through the V, but around the post below. So we're going to yarn over just as if you're doing a double crochet, and insert the hook front, and then up through the back, yarn over, and then just continue on as you would with a double crochet. And then again for stitch 2, down and up. Okay, so there's your 2 front post double crochet, and then again, so you're doing a 3 stitch repeat, so 1 double crochet, and then 2 front post. So you can see you did the 2 front post here, and then you skipped this post, because you have a regular double crochet stitch here. So you got like a little bit of a dip, and then you've got 2 front posts. So you got these 2 ridges. Well, I don't know what you call this. The stitches are lifted up there. And then another double crochet and 2 front posts. Okay, and now you do that until you are at your last 2 stitches, which I am, and those would be just 2 regular double crochet. So that finishes row 1. So that is your multiple of 3 and then your extra. Here we go. Now we're going to flip it over. Okay, you can see how these are producing some nice texture here. It's very squishy. It's a big yarn eater. All right, so row 2, you're going to start the same way. Chain 2, double crochet in that same stitch. All right, so now you kind of see where you're going to be working these front posts. So these stitches here are where you're going to get the front posts. So you're going to do a front post double crochet there, and then 2 double crochet. So that is the 3-stitch repeat for row 2. So it's 1 front post double crochet and 2 regular double crochet. And again, you're working the front post on this row around the stitch that already appears to be raised. So you kind of have a visual to help you out. Sorry, just making sure my yarn is still on the frame because I leaned it back there for a second. All right, and now I'm at my last 2 stitches. I'm going to work 1 front post double crochet to balance out with what I did at the beginning, and then 1 double crochet and turn. All right, so to really see the pattern forming, you need to do another 2-row repeat. So we're gonna chain 2, and you remember the 3-stitch repeat for row 1. First, you're gonna start with a double crochet in your first stitch. Now your 3-stitch repeat for row 1 is 1 double crochet, 2 front post double crochet. So here we go. 1 double crochet and 2 front post double crochet. And again, now that you've already done it, you can see the 2 stitches that already kind of want to be raised up, and the one that's kind of leaning backwards there, that is regular. Okay, so these 2 are already popping up, and we're going to keep lifting them up. So those are the 2 front posts. There we go. And a single 1 double crochet. Sorry, that would have been confusing if I said it that way. And then 2 front post double crochet. And then at the end of the row, we will end with 2 regular double crochet. And I flip our work over. There you go, you can see that box closed. Work, chain 2, double crochet in that first stitch. All right, now the 3-stitch repeat for row 2 is 1 front post, 2 regular. So we got 1 front post double crochet and 2 regular double crochet and 1 front post double crochet. There we go. And 2 regular double crochet. We're almost there, guys. And then you know the waffle stitch. And almost again, 2 regular. And then here we go. When you get to the last 2 stitches, you're going to work 1 front post and 1 regular stitch to end. And there you go. So that's 4 rows plus the original double crochet row. So after you've worked 4 rows of this repeat, you can really see the waffle pattern coming up. So that's pretty simple. It's just a 3-stitch 2-row repeat, and you have this lovely squishy waffle pattern that eats so much yarn. It's unbelievable. But since it is a very squishy yarn eater, I probably wouldn't do it in a super bulky yarn, but it looks great in bulky weight yarn. It looks great in worsted weight yarn. It looks good in, looks very good in DK weight yarn. And it makes a nice warm, dense fabric. So there you have it. If you don't like having this chain not counted as a stitch, if you really want it to be counted as a stitch so you don't have this bump, you can. You just need to adjust the stitch count for it. Like I said, the reason I did it is because this produces more of a substantial edge for either working into a seam, I think, or when you crochet over to form a border, then you're taking away this chain part instead of eating into what would be a stitch here. So when you're working a border on this, I would be working over the chain edge instead of actually working over what would still be the chain, but now you're working over kind of this extra stitch instead of working over what would look like the edge. So now you'd be taking this away, this little bumpy chain, whereas if it wasn't there, you'd be kind of moving in closer to this unless you added extra stitches. So that's my reasoning, but again, feel free to play with it as you will. Add extra stitches, take it away, however the mood suits you. But overall, the waffle stitch is going to remain the same. It is a 2-row, 3-stitch repeat. So there you have it. If you have any questions, feel free, let me know. Thanks guys, bye.